After a detailed analysis of relativistic kinematics, now actually we are going to discuss two important phenomena of relativistic kinematics. The first one is aberration of light, and the second will be Doppler effect in light, or you can say relativistic Doppler effect. So in this first lecture, we will actually discuss the aberration of light. Actually, I have divided the lecture on aberration of light in two parts. So first of all, we will discuss the first part of the lecture on aberration of light. So regarding this, first of all, we have to know what is this aberration of light. Actually, you know from the second postulate of special relativity that the speed of light in free space is a absolute constant. It does not depend on the state of motion of the source which emits light and the observer which measures the speed of light. But here one thing is very important, that although the speed of light is independent of the state of motion of the source emitting the light and the observer, but the direction of light rays depends on the state of motion of the source relative to the observer. And so, light rays coming from the same source appear to be coming from different directions as observed in two inertial systems in different state of motion. So there is an apparent change in the direction of light propagation due to the relative motion between the source and the observer. And actually, this apparent change in direction of light propagation, or you can say the direction of velocity of light, due to the relative motion between the source and the observer, is actually known as aberration of light. So in this theory, we will actually consider two inertial systems in relative motion with respect to one another, and we will actually find what are the directions in which the two observers of the two frames actually observe the light rays coming from the same source, and you will find that the directions measured by the two observers will be in fact different, although the magnitude of velocity in free space of light will be same, but directions will be different. So to deal with this problem in a mathematical way, let us see here this figure. In fact, you know the Earth revolves round the Sun with its orbital speed, let us say v. So just imagine the Sun to be a system S. I have mentioned here this frame S, you can say, or actually this reference frame S is associated with the Sun, which is treated as stationary. And as the Earth revolves around the Sun with an orbital velocity v, not c, sorry. So we take this reference frame S prime associated or linked with the Earth, and it is moving with velocity v with respect to the Sun's frame, that is S, along this common x-axis you can see in this figure. So here I have assumed that S is a frame associated with the Sun, and S prime, this is actually a frame associated with the Earth, and v is the velocity of S prime with respect to S in x direction. V equal to velocity of S prime relative to S in x direction, or you can say common x direction, because the x-axis of both of the frames are coinciding here. And you know, as I have assumed that S prime is associated with the orbiting Earth, so actually this v is the orbital speed of the Earth relative to the Sun. So this is actually orbital speed of the Earth. Now let us consider that this P is a star and light rays are emitted from this star, and the observers O and O prime of frame S and S prime actually observe those light rays. And you can see from this figure that the observer O of frame S, that is the observer of Sun's frame, actually observed that the light ray coming from this star makes an angle phi with the x-axis. So this angle phi actually measures the direction of the incoming light ray from the star by the observer O. And similarly, the moving observer O prime of Earth's frame actually measures the direction of light ray coming from the star's P, and according to him, the light ray coming from this star actually makes an angle phi prime, you can see in this figure, with the x-axis. So you can note that phi equal to angle, phi is the angle made by light ray coming from a star P. Light ray, angle made by light ray coming from a star P, not by, but you can say with x-axis. So you can say that the observer O actually sees that the direction of light ray is measured by this phi. And similarly, phi prime is actually the angle made by the light ray coming from a star P with the x-axis, made by the star P with the x-axis. This is in frame S and this is in frame S prime. So you can say that the velocity of light in free space actually makes an angle phi with x-axis as observed from the frame S, and the velocity of light u prime actually makes an angle phi prime with x-axis as measured by the moving observer O prime. Here one thing is very important, that you know actually velocity is a vector, and so if directions of velocity u and u prime are different, then definitely these two velocities are different. But these are actually the velocity of light in free space. So in accordance with the second postulate of special relativity, the magnitude of these two velocities u and u prime measured by the observer O and O prime will be same, and that will be equal to c. This is the second postulate of special relativity. So you should note that u equal to velocity of light measured in frame S, and u prime, this is velocity of light measured in frame S prime. But according to the second postulate of a special relativity, this u, modulus of u and mod of u prime are same, and that will be equal to c. In fact, you can see this figure that these two velocities actually lie in this xy plane. It is clear from this figure, and both of the velocities are actually in the third quadrant. You can see here that u is in third quadrant and this u prime is also in third quadrant. So if we will actually resolve these two velocities u and u prime into their x and y components, since they are in third quadrant, so both of the components of u and u prime, that is x and y components, will be negative. So let us now consider that u vector u, you can say we can express it as uxi plus uij. Since this velocity lies in xy plane, so actually ux and uy will be non-zero, but its z component will be 0, since this vector lies in xy plane. And at the same time, you can also note that this u prime will be equal to u prime x I plus u prime y j. It is obvious that this ux is x component of velocity vector u in x along x-axis in frame S, and this uy, this is simply the y component of velocity vector u. Similarly, you can say that this u prime x is the x component of velocity vector u prime, and u prime y is the y component of velocity vector u prime. So from this figure, you can see what will be the values of these ux and uy, and again this u prime x and this u prime y. You can easily see from this figure. So ux equal to what? See this figure. As you can see, this vector u actually makes an angle phi with this negative x-axis. So the x component will be actually equal to minus mod of u cos phi. So this will be actually equal to minus, since it is in third quadrant, so x component will be negative, mod of vector u into cos phi. But you have seen that modulus of this vector u is equal to simply c. So this is minus c cos phi. And you can also see that what will be this ui. Since the angle phi is made by the vector u with x-axis, so you can write its y component as minus mod of u sin phi. Since this vector is in third quadrant, so y component will be also negative. And again, modulus of u, you know, is c, so this is minus c sin phi. Similarly, you can find the values of u prime x and u prime y. And for this, again see this figure, this u prime vector actually makes an angle phi prime with the negative x-axis. So this component will be again minus mod of u prime cos phi prime. And you know this modulus of u prime is simply equal to c. So this is minus c cos phi prime. And again u prime y, what will be this? This will be minus mod of u prime sin phi prime. And this will be minus c sin phi prime. Now, as you have seen in definition of aberration of light, that actually The average, in accordance with the definition, the angles phi and phi prime should be different, because these two angles measures the direction of propagation of light ray as measured by the observers O and O prime, and aberration means these directions should be different. So definitely we will make a calculation to relate these two angles phi and phi prime. And this can be done actually taking the equations which we have actually studied during the velocity transformation. So using the velocity transformation equations, we can relate these two angles phi and phi prime. So what will be actually the relevant velocity transformation equations here? We will write the velocity transformation equations for x and y component of the velocity. So you know, from velocity transformation equation, you know u prime x equal to what? You have studied that this is simply ux minus v over 1 minus v over c square into ux, and u prime y. What is this? You have studied that this is uy into root over 1 minus v square by c square and divided by 1 minus v by c square ux. So these are actually the relevant velocity transformation equations, and from here we can find using these results actually the relation between phi and phi prime. And for that, let us divide this u prime y by this u prime x. So from here you can see, therefore u prime y over u prime x. See this equation here. Actually, you can see in RHS of this equation for u prime y, in denominator there is 1 minus v by c square ux, and in this equation for u prime x, again in denominator is the same quantity. So when you will divide this u prime y by u prime x, the denominator will cancel out, and the result will be simply the numerator for a u prime y divided by numerator for u prime x. So what will be our result? You can see easily that this will be actually equal to uy into root over 1 minus v square by c square and divided by ux minus v. Let us say this is equation 1. Now let us substitute the values of u prime y, u prime x, ux and uy as we have obtained here. You can see we have actually obtained all these components here. So from here, let us substitute the values of all these four components of velocity. So substituting the values of ux, uy, u prime x, u prime y in equation 1. So after substituting these values, what will be our result? You can see that this u prime y is equal to minus c sin phi prime, and u prime x is equal to this minus c cos phi prime, and uy is minus c sin phi, and ux is minus c cos phi. So let us substitute all of these values in this equation 1. So substituting these values, we will get that this is minus c sin phi prime over minus c cos phi prime, and this will be equal to uy, you know it is minus c sin phi into root over 1 minus v square by c square and divided by ux. You know ux is what? This is minus c cos phi, and minus v. So let us simplify this equation. You can see this minus c and minus c will actually cancel out. So in LHS there will be simply tan phi prime, and in RHS let us take this minus c cos phi as a common factor in denominator. So what will be this? This is minus c sin phi into root over 1 minus v square by c square, and when we will actually take this minus c, first of all let us take only minus c as a common factor, because then we will also get an important result. So if we take minus c as a common factor, then result will be cos phi and plus v over c, and you can see now this minus c and this minus c will cancel out, and our result will be tan phi prime equal to, you can see this is sin phi into root over 1 minus v square by c square over cos phi plus v by c. In fact, this is also an important result. In several examinations, questions are set in such a manner that this result is given and you have actually to prove this result. So this is also an important result. Now we will actually simplify the RHS of this equation to some extent more. So let us see that this tan phi prime, if in fact we will take this cos phi as a common factor in denominator, then what will be our result? You can see this is sin phi into root over 1 minus v square by c square, and in denominator I am taking this cos phi as a common factor, so you can see what will be the result. Here will be 1, and in second term there will be v by c cos phi. So this will be v over c cos phi. Now you can see this sin phi over this cos phi will be tan phi. And so we can write that tan phi prime is equal to tan phi into root over 1 minus v square by c square and divided by 1 plus v over c cos phi. Actually, this is the relativistic formula for aberration of light in this case, when the light is actually coming from a distant star to the observers. So let us say this is equation A1. Now you can write very easily the inverse of this relativistic result for aberration of light, and you know very well how we write actually the inverse of a relativistic result. We simply change the primed quantities to unprimed quantities and the unprimed quantities to the primed quantities, and simply we take minus v instead of v. So taking these facts into account, we can write the not transformation, but inverse of this equation A1. So you can say inverse of equation A1 is given as, this will be in fact tan phi. You can see here is phi prime, so here will be phi. And in RHS, since there is tan phi, so we will write tan phi prime. And 1 minus v square by c square. You know that after squaring of minus v, that will be simply plus v square. So here sign does not change. But see the term in denominator. If we will write minus v in denominator, then here there will be minus sign, and so this will be minus v over c cos phi prime. So this is the inverse of equation 1. You can also say that this is the relativistic formula for the aberration of light. And it is very easy to see from these two equations, either A1 or from A2, that phi prime is not equal to phi. And this is in fact aberration of light. You know that the light ray coming from a star, when observed by the observer O, he or she finds that the light is coming making an angle phi with the x-axis. And if the same light ray is actually observed by the another observer O prime of the moving prime, then he or she finds that the light ray actually makes an angle phi prime with the x-axis. And these phi and phi prime are actually not equal. And so if these two are not equal, it means there is an apparent change in the direction of propagation of light ray, and due to the relative motion. You can easily see if there will be not a relative motion between the source and the observer, then these two angles will be same. You can see here that you can see from this result, if v is not equal to 0. When you say that v is not equal to 0, what does it mean? It means that is there is a relative motion between the source and the observer. Then in that condition, it is obvious from these two equations A1 and A2, you can see if v is non-zero, then actually this tan phi prime equal to tan phi into root over 1 minus v square by c square over 1 plus v by c cos phi. So it is obvious that phi prime and phi are not equal. So in this condition, phi prime is not equal to phi. And if we take that v is equal to 0, you can easily see from those two equations that if we will take actually v equal to 0, then in numerator, in RHS of equation A1, there will be tan phi, and in denominator, since we take v equal to 0, this second term in denominator will be 0, and so our result will be actually tan phi prime equal to tan phi, or from A2 you can say tan phi equal to tan phi prime. Then you can say that this tan phi prime is equal to tan phi, and this implies phi prime is equal to phi. So what are you seeing here? that when there is a relative motion between the source and the observer, then the direction of propagation of light measured by the two observers in relative motion uh, are different. One measures the direction as phi prime, another measures the direction as phi, and both are not same. And this is actually the aberration of light. So you can say that this result actually implies aberration of light. Aberration of light. So from this relativistic treatment, we can easily explain the aberration of light. Now in the second lecture, we will actually consider that instead of light coming from a star, we will consider that light signal is emitted from a source at the origin of the of a moving frame, and that will be observed actually by the two observers. And then again you will find that the directions measured by the two observers will be different, and so in that condition we will obtain again the relativistic formula. So there are two cases, and then actually we will take the classical limit condition. So these things will be actually discussed in the second part of the lecture on aberration of light.